realized that these guys have gotten to the lowest I've ever seen. And almost to the point where I think people forgot who Akademiks is. And I'm going to start this all off by saying this, okay? I see and I hear what a bunch of y'all media niggas in hip-hop is doing, which is built purely out of jealousy for me and the platform and because we run this shit. And I want to let everybody know, the gloves is off. You know I love this part. We could all go to war. I'll tell you what that entails. I like to get personal. And for anybody who's going to be like, you're going to be doing too much, because you know I get super personal. Oh, I'll find out the big mamas. I'll find out the missing kids. I'll find out everything. It's okay. And I'm putting this out for every media personality. Not because they put me number one. I'm not the same slimy sick nigga that really got it like everybody else. But I'm saying that because I don't know if maybe I'm supposed to take the high road now, but I'm never the high road type of guy. I'm always when they go low, you take them to hell. So I'm gonna just warn y'all now, prepare for all fuckery. And I want to also make it clear, there's no bystanders. So they ain't no you listen, we ain't doing no DJ Khaled shit. But I want to explain where that energy's coming from. Chat, I've been just sitting here doing my thing. Iceman's number one, biggest media personality, biggest rappers. I've been watching the jokes. I love the jokes too, you know. They'd be like, oh, Drake, I like this. Cool. Y'all did the same thing with me in 6 9 Cool. But I'm starting to realize the lies that's brewing up. I realize that there's a stalking effort. Like this week, I found out that supposedly out of this theory, that is no way that I am this popular as a media personality, that Drake is as popular as a rapper and sells as much. And also because allegedly people like even Nicki Minaj and some folks like that go against some of these people, you can kind of guess who I'm talking about. There's been heavy investigations going on. I've told you guys about these stuff a long time ago. I was confused. In the last few days, I have gotten, and it can't be towards me, but it is in a roundabout way trying to threaten the people around me. There's people outside supposed Greg Wizard's house taking random pictures of him. Oh, we got the pictures now. They've been circulating these pictures. There's people harassing, you know, some of the people who do memes and stuff like that, and who clip for us, going to their houses, harassing their girlfriends, mamas. And at first I was like, all right, I'm the public guy. Like, I want all the smoke. You come over here, you're gonna meet 4 killer Rottweilers and 50 guns. But people don't mess with me. So I was like, what's going on here? Everybody around me started getting targeted. It's kind of interesting. I got told recently that there's an ongoing dossier that was paid for and financed. I mean, paid for and financed. That all of these stalking, this, that, and third, and a lot of frivolous lawsuits, and a lot of, maybe you were part of it too, or maybe you're also on the list of, and I want to keep this again. By the way, barbs to Nikki. Make sure your queen is safe. I hear they are stalking and they took pictures of all of the people outside of their premises. Yes, I looked at pictures of what they claim is Greg Wizard outside of his house. They took, it's paparazzi. Shit is crazy. So the barbs, protect Nikki. They're doing the same thing to her. Now, I keep asking the same question. Who is doing this? Who? Now, we're gonna try to figure this out together. Because when I keep getting the same answer, we don't know. However, the information that they've gotten through the stalking, so by the way, I want to lay it out once again. They have this theory going on that Drake is funded politically by MAGA. I know, it sounds crazy to you because you're normal. They also claim I'm funded politically, and that's why we're popular. They also claim Nicki is funded politically, and that's why she's linking up with Trump. They have tried to, now I'm pretty sure they can't get by the embassy to take pictures of Drake's kids, but I'm telling you that's where it's at. So I want to pick y'all brain. Who y'all think is doing this? Someone has created something, I call it a dossier, where they have came with this theory to say Drake, Aiden Ross, Nicki Minaj, Akademiks, and there's a few other people in the mix, but they have put out resources to, and what I mean stalk, this is like invasive stalking we're talking about. Like invasive stalking, but it's okay. Again, I was flabbergasted to see pictures that people took from across the street outside of a home they believe is for some people who, they're not even public figures necessarily, anyway. So that is the theory. Now, in trying to figure out who's behind this, every time I ask someone who claims they have seen info that came from this, they all say, we don't know who's this from. We don't know where this came from. We don't know why this is happening. Just be careful, Ak. Be careful who you associate with. That's odd. I'm gonna tell you why that's odd. Because even if you don't know where this info came from, it is ironic that only people that align a certain way get the info. It's not everybody that has the info. It's a certain people that have the info. Shout out my man Charlamagne, he gave me a call, he said, this was going around, I seen it. So what? Where'd it come from? I don't know. Oh, okay. Charlotte, if I was supposed to air you out on that, it's okay. But listen, I gotta get to the bottom of this. I hear Lola Rosa got in the background. What Lola Rosa got? What? Then I hear, oh, you got like, one of the stooges, I was on this show, and then this other guy that don't like you, and I'm like, what's going on here? Now, like for anything, I like to address things head on. But with that, I don't like doing proxy wars. I like to just kick it off. I tell all y'all eat a dick. Straight up. All y'all eat a dick. Y'all ain't stopping nothing. All y'all eat a dick. When there's entities that's plotting against me, don't be the messenger. You either with me or against me. No DJ Khaled is around my book. No DJ Khaled is around my book. Get the fuck away. Now, I want to get into a few things. Now, I did get alerted that there is some dossier that, they thought the big reveal was Akademiks is number one on the media list again. By the way, I'm number one by a mile. I'm not close with you niggas. None of y'all. Listen, whoever it fits, just hold that shot and return it if you want. But I'm speaking as if it's a reason why I'm numero uno. And if the shot don't apply to you, it's okay. You ducked. You missed. It's fine. It wasn't that anyway. But I gotta pop my shit a little bit because this is seeming a lot odd. So cool. So there's whatever happening. Now, let me be very clear. This is nothing that is legal. This is nothing that is, someone's going to jail. This is people who are envious, who are losers, who basically think that since they can't control certain people in independent media, those people must be controlled by someone else. You know why? Because historically, hip-hop media has been bought out and paid for, and usually you're working on some big network that has an agenda. So they believe if there's a new nigga that's popping the shit doing his thing, number one, he got to get paid out too. They can't believe that despite their best attempt to kill Drake's career 2 years ago, they teamed up. All the media personnel is defected. Oh, we got him. This was not by chance. This was concerted. 2 years later, they're looking up today, and he is making them cry. They're like, how the fuck does he got all these goddamn records? It's not that good. Not gonna lie. I heard all type of things they said about Nikki. They said Nikki is batshit crazy. Nikki just doesn't. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of Nikki either, because we've had our issues, but I'm realizing some of the same tactics happen to some of the same people, and we still can't figure who's doing it. How do we find an invisible enemy? How? We're finding an invisible enemy, yet we still always see mouthpieces that represent the enemy, but they're not the enemy. It's kind of, I'm confused. So, let me start rolling out some receipts. Now,
and there you have it, folks. DJ Akademiks is officially coming out and saying, fuck y'all, the gloves are off, eat a dick. And who is y'all? He's clearly talking to The Breakfast Club, specifically Charlamagne the God and Lauren LaRosa. So in the clip I just showed you, Akademiks is pretty much pointing out the fact that why every time something happens that's strange or unusual, it's always like the same couple people involved somehow. So Akademiks cited a situation where there was someone he knew, I don't even remember their name, but it was someone that was basically caught outside their home, and there were a lot of pictures taken of them in like some stalker type of way. And Ak is basically just saying that he feels like certain people are in fact being stalked and targeted, including Nicki Minaj. Ak also pointed out that he finds it extremely weird that only certain people are getting the information in relation to the stalking and harassment, and it seems like whenever he asks the person where they're getting the information from, they keep saying that they don't know. And then Ak pretty much called out Charlamagne the God and says Charlamagne called him, warning him about something in relation to some stalking, harassment pictures, something. And when Ak asked him how he got the info, Charlamagne was saying that he didn't know. So now Ak is basically just like, fuck y'all, the gloves are coming off, because I feel like all of y'all are working together and in cahoots. Because why every time you bring some information to my attention and I ask you about it, you're sitting here acting like you don't know what's going on? To me, I just feel like that's some fucking weird ass op ass shit. Like, how are you gonna bring something to my attention? You're telling me that I'm being targeted in some way, shape, or form. You're bringing it to my attention, and then I'm asking you, like, how did you get this information? Where is this coming from? And you're trying to act like you don't know what the fuck is going on. That's some weirdo ass shit, bro. Ak is like, you're either with me or against me. I don't want no motherfucking DJ Khaled's around me, bitch. Pick a side, pick a fucking stance. Don't come to me with some fucking information, and then when I press you about it, act like you don't know. To me, there's literally nothing worse than a two-faced ass bitch that likes to try to play both fucking sides of the fence. Like, don't do that shit. That reminds me of a situation when I was in the military. Like, one of my friends, or I thought she was my friend at the time, came to me telling me like, hey girl, you know, your leadership is like in our office going off, talking shit about you, like going in on you. And I asked this girl, I was like, who said it? And what did they say? And then she hit me with the, oh, I can't tell you. So I'm like, man, what? So a few weeks go by, and then she brings it up again. She's literally like, yo, your leadership was in here talking shit about you again. And I was like, girl, who and what did they say? And she was like, I can't tell you. And I'm just looking at her like, bitch, don't fucking come to me with some information and tell me that somebody's dogging me out, doing me wrong, talking shit about me. And then when I ask you like who said it, you want to act stupid. Because if you were gonna do that, then you shouldn't have brought the shit up in the first place. That's some op ass fucking double agent type shit. Like, why are you trying to pass on warnings? Why are you trying to pass on the fact that people are talking shit? Like, you're fucking weird. So yeah, I'm with Ak on this shit. Like, I don't blame him for feeling how he feels. Like, yeah, the gloves are coming off. And then Milagro Grams tweeted on Twitter that she heard that Lauren LaRosa was going around telling people not to work with her. Like, going behind her back, behind the scenes, talking shit. Like, at this point, Charlamagne and Lauren LaRosa, y'all are never beating the paid fucking mole allegations. It's so obvious that you guys are being incentivized allegedly by someone. And when I say someone, I mean Jay and Rock Nation, in my opinion. Just a couple days ago, Akademiks TV tweeted that Lauren LaRosa and Charlamagne allegedly were going around behind the scenes telling people not to work with Nicki Minaj. So I'm like, why would Charlamagne and Lauren LaRosa have a vested interest in trying to tell people not to work with Nicki Minaj? And also, why would Lauren LaRosa have a vested interest in telling people not to work with Milagro? Like, it's obvious who is behind the scenes telling Lauren and Charlemagne what to do next. In my opinion, I believe allegedly that the Breakfast Club is a paid platform and they work for Jay-Z and Rock Nation. The whole narrative that was started saying that, Akademiks and Aiden Ross were likely being paid by Drake to say certain things or paid by Nicki Minaj to say certain things, and the accusation that Tory Lanez paid Milagro Grams to talk and speak against Megan Thee Stallion. Like, it's the same argument every time. You know why it's the same argument every time? Because it's the same fucking person doing it all. It's the same person or a group of people or the same entity. It's all the same people doing the same shit over and over and over again. Anytime an independent media personality says anything that goes against their narrative, Rock Nation and Jay-Z's narrative, somehow that person becomes labeled as a paid mouthpiece. They're being paid by someone. And in my opinion, the reason why they keep running with this narrative that Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tory Lanez are likely paying people, that whole narrative, the reason why they're running with that shit is because they can't wrap around their tiny little fucking pea brains that people actually love and support these artists. Yeah, they're loved and they're supported in real fucking life, unlike Megan Thee Stallion, unlike Doechii, unlike Pusha fucking T, unlike, the list can go on and on and on. They just can't understand that when an artist is respected, when an artist is loved, they don't have to fucking pay people to stand up for them. They don't know anything about genuine love and genuine support. You know why? Because they have to fucking pay for it. They have to pay people to love them. They have to pay people to support them. They can't do it organically. If Jay-Z and Rock Nation were really as influential as they claim that they are, then they wouldn't have to pay and incentivize platforms to speak on their behalf, because people would just do it naturally. And also, all this that they're doing, to me, it proves that Jay-Z really doesn't have control over the youth the way he wants to, not the way that Drake and Nicki Minaj do. Allegedly, in my opinion, I believe that Jay-Z's control and influence comes from him paying media outlets to push his narratives, because he really has no direct control over the youth. It's like, if he can allegedly pay people or incentivize certain platforms to say what he wants them to say, then he can hope that the youth catches wind of that platform and his narrative sticks that way. But he doesn't have control over the youth directly. Like, he can't come out and do an interview and say some shit and then the youth just run with it and hang on to it and that just becomes reality. No, Jay-Z does not have control over young people like that. Honestly, kids don't give a fuck about Jay-Z. Jay-Z is not relevant in music, and he hasn't been in a very long time. And speaking of irrelevance, yeah, the Breakfast Club, in my opinion, their days are fucking numbered. Because if you did not know, it was reported, I believe last week, that the Breakfast Club is officially migrating from YouTube to Netflix, meaning they will only be available exclusively on Netflix. And to me, they might as well have just signed their fucking death warrant, because who the fuck is getting ready for work at 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning and cutting on Netflix to listen to the fucking Breakfast Club? Be so for real. Netflix is like notorious for canceling shows. Even when a show is doing really well and is popular, they still cancel shit. So I'm gonna say here, I give them like 8 to 10 months, because I really don't expect that they'll be around for too much longer. And if they do stick around, they better hope that these people that are claiming to have been harassed and stalked and all that, they better hope that these people don't get tired and decide to band together and fucking sue a bunch of people and y'all names get tied up in that paperwork. You better hope that doesn't happen, because is Jay-Z gonna come and pay for your lawyer fees if you get caught up in some shit? Okay, so moving along to the next topic, I did have an update about the Desiree Hadley and Desiree Perez case. So this was the case that I've been talking about, where Desiree Hadley, Desiree's daughter, took her mother to court because she's accusing her of illegally and falsely Baker acting her. So recently, Desiree Perez had filed a motion to try to strike Demaree's attorney from the case, and pretty much said that the attorney agreed that they didn't believe Demaree's story and just said a whole bunch of stuff trying to get him disqualified, basically. So I'm gonna read this update from Come With Facts on Twitter, and this is what it says. Demaree Hadley's attorney has officially responded to Desiree Perez's motion seeking to either strike the amended complaint entirely or disqualify him from the case. This response was not just a denial, it was a direct counterattack. He denies the narrative that he, quote-unquote, admitted Demaree lied and says his conduct during the deposition was a deliberate strategy intended to get Desiree Perez talking and comfortable. According to the response, he says he researched personality traits similar to Perez's and consulted individuals familiar with her prior deposition behavior. He argues he concluded that validating her beliefs would make her more forthcoming and claims the strategy ultimately worked. Perez's side previously argued that Demaree's attorney allegedly admitted his own client lied, believed Desiree Perez was telling the truth, and intended to withdraw from the case. Now, Demaree's attorney is responding point by point. He says the motion relies on selective narratives and cherry-picked evidence. He notes that only portions of Demaree's nearly 7-hour deposition were submitted and is asking the court to require the entire unredacted transcript instead. He denies the claim that Demaree lied about Natalie Anderson, Desiree Perez's assistant, and says court filings already show Demaree knew her. He argues that Demaree did not destroy evidence to hide anything and says she changed her iCloud after believing Perez had accessed her communications. He says the bedroom versus bathroom argument is being turned into a perjury claim over semantics because the bathroom was allegedly attached to her private suite. Now, side note, this is because, remember, Demaree was saying that there was a camera installed in her bedroom, so Desiree allegedly was like spying on Demaree and her husband in their master bedroom. It also says Perez submitted affidavits from her husband and sons. However, Demaree's attorney says those affidavits omitted a key fact. According to the response, the witnesses allegedly admitted they had not personally seen or spoken to Demaree since Christmas Eve 2023. The response essentially questions how they could reliably speak about her mental condition or state of mind without first-hand contact. Another side note, yes, Demaree's brother, or Desiree Perez's, her other kids, spoke up, and I believe they wrote letters or something pretty much saying that Demaree is unreliable and she's crazy, she's got mental issues or whatever. So yeah, this lawyer is pretty much coming back saying how could they know her mental state if they haven't even seen her since 2023. So moving along, it says the filing also escalates further by alleging that people involved use contacts behind the scenes to interfere with criminal investigations about what allegedly happened to Demaree. The filing includes emails discussing warrants and prosecutors, then says people involved use their contacts to thwart the investigation. Another key issue raised involves a photo and video dispute. The response claims Perez used a screenshot to imply that Javon Hadley, Demaree's husband, sexually assaulted Demaree. However, Demaree's attorney argues that when the full video was played, it shows Demaree and Javon laughing and singing together. He argued that the presentation was misleading and even says sanctions should be considered. The response also makes another important point. Demaree's attorney argues that regardless of what Perez's side thinks about him personally, Demaree herself still wants him as her counsel. In other words, the filing essentially argues that disqualifying an attorney is not about whether or not the opposing side likes the lawyer. It is about whether there is an actual legal conflict serious enough to override a client's right to choose who represents them. Bottom line, Desiree Perez says the case is built on lies. Demaree Hadley's side now says the motion itself is built on omissions, distortions, and selective facts. Now, the judge has two very different stories sitting on the desk, and the move belongs to the court. Let's see how the judge rules on this. Okay, so I just want to say, lying about a sexual assault is absolutely fucking diabolical. If I just read that correctly, what that shit is saying is that they took an audio recording or a video and they chopped it up and tried to make it seem like Javon, who is Demaree's husband, sexually assaulted Demaree. So to sit here and fucking lie about a sexual assault to try to get that man hemmed up is absolutely disgusting. And the lawyer is right to request sanctions. That is ridiculous. You're flat out lying in federal court. These people will sit up and lie in court, and they will do things to try to ruin and fuck up ongoing investigations. And y'all really think that they're not capable of sending motherfuckers to people's houses to try to intimidate them, to try to change their opinion? You don't think all this shit going on with academics and people popping up at people's houses, you really think that shit is a coincidence? If you're willing to lock up your own daughter, your own flesh and blood, and throw her in a mental asylum as a revenge plot, if you're willing to do that shit to your own daughter, if you're willing to put cameras in her bedroom to try to accuse her black husband of rape, then what the fuck are you willing to do to someone off the street? That's why I'll say it now, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Free Tory Lanez. He's innocent, and he's sitting in prison for something he did not fucking do because these wicked ass people. And I just want to add, Desiree is a disgusting fucking rat, and I hope that bitch goes to prison. I hope she goes to prison for the rest of her fucking life, because that's what the fuck she deserves. She's disgusting. Nasty bitch. Ugh. That just irritated me so bad. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and leave that here before I get more irritated, because I really can't believe what the fuck I just read. So just let me know what you think about the whole situation with Akademiks and how he's like, you know what, the gloves are coming off because I'm tired of y'all playing in my face like we're not doing this. What do you think about that? And also, how do you feel about the allegations that The Breakfast Club and some other hip-hop platforms are being paid off allegedly by Roc Nation to peddle certain narratives for Jay-Z? What do you think about that? And also, let me know what you think about this situation with ugly ass, evil ass Desiree Perez. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.